This is Travis with his BA deck. Let's see what you got.
I have a Malakota Jinlock deck profile. I use the Burning Abyss, and I basically want to use the Malakota. I think he's an interesting card, and I want to showcase him with this profile. So onto the deck list, I run. Starting off, I run my boss monsters is BLS, Blackluster Envoy at the beginning. Then I run 3 Malakota. And then for my non-Burning Abyss, I run 3 Mathematician. 1 Jin Releaser Rituals. I can make a Jin lock with Malakota, and it's quite nice. Tour Guide, since they recently got limited. And then onto the Burning Abyss, I run 3 Seer. I run 1 Cogna. Now Cogna is really nice because if it's milled or if I send to the graveyard, I can get my Good and Evil set up in the grave, or I can get a Fire Lake. So I just run 1 off of that. I run 1 Calcab to bounce the back row. I can actually in phase bounce back row with Malakota if I decrease a monster's attack. I run 2 Alec. I run 1 Libic, 2 Farfa, 3 Graph, 3 Skarm, and I only run 2 Rubik. Okay, now onto the spells. I run 1 Allure. I run the Allure so I can kind of get into my tour guide faster early game, or I can get into Malakota or Good and Evil based on if I have one or the other. I run 3 Good and Evil in the Burning Abyss. This is a pretty good card. Normally, it's a very bad card in a lot of Burning Abyss decks if you have it in your hand, because you don't run the Malakota, you have to find a way to get rid of it. But running it with Malakota, you can either use it, or if it gets milled off, it's pretty good in grave, and you can basically get any Burning Abyss card from your deck to your grave, or from your deck to your hand. I run 1 Foolish and 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's a great offensive and defensive card. Onto the traps, I run 1 Fire Lake. I'm trying out Crush Card Virus. It's very good, and it's a really good blowout card. I'm running Ring of Destruction. I'm running Vanity's Emptiness. And I run 3 Raigeki Breaks. I run Raigeki Break for any back row that, if I want to try to keep my Malakota Jin lock, if somebody has the Jin lock on me, or just anything else I need to hit in particular. Now for the extra deck, I run 2 Virgil. I run 3 Dante. And I run 3 Downard. I run an Acid Golem, Nightmare Shark, number 20 Giga Brilliant. I run 2 Ghost Trick Alucard. Now the reason I run 2 Alucard is I can pick off back row, and I can keep my board safe. So I find it pretty necessary. And I also run Mech-Equipped Engineer. He's a great protection card. Lets me keep my lock in place. And I run the 1 of Zen Mains. Now onto the side deck. I run a 2nd copy of Cogna. I run a 2nd copy of Calcab. I have these in the side deck. I have 3 MST in the side. Because the only thing I really fear is Skill Drain, which there's not nearly as many Clifforts with the new Banlist, and Vanity's Emptiness. Otherwise, I'd like to have these in the side because it's just a 1-for-1. I don't really like the card that much. I have my 2nd and 3rd copy of Fire Lake in the side. I have 3 Mind Crush in the side. Now normally I would main these for like a bigger event, but since this is for locals, there's a lot of anti-meta. There's a lot of Ritual Beasts, Satella Knights, and Yusenju decks. So I don't find this card as strong against those matchups, particularly because Ritual Beasts, they add certain cards, but they usually set them. And if I don't have this when they add their cards, then it's usually not that good. Yusenju's, it can be pretty good, but I find I'd rather have just destruction cards to stop their plays from continuing. 3 trap stuns inside. It lets me go off my turns, and I don't have to worry about back row. And I have 2 skill prisoners in my side deck. Now this card's really interesting because if I'm playing against a Necros player, if they target in my Burning Abyss with Colossalos, if they target with Bryonic, I can, if this is engraved, I can banish it, or I can chain it and stop them from getting rid of my Burning Abyss monsters and bouncing them, or just cutting down their attack, negating their effect. But, yep, that's my deck profile.
And what would you change if you were able to? I mean, if you want to, I should say.
I probably wouldn't change anything right now. I haven't found any inconsistencies. I really like the deck how it is.
Uh-huh.
The deck has some really interesting ideas, though. So one of the reasons I really like Malakota is because I can, if I bring him out with Gen Release or Rituals, I have my opponent on lockdown. Now, if they bring out any monsters that could be a problem and get around Malakota, I can either discard like a Farfa, and like, so Malakota's effect, I can discard a Burning Abyss, and their monster loses attack equal to the Burning Abyss that I send. But I can send a Farfa, and I can banish their monster, disrupting their attempt to get around my play. I can also send an Alec. I can send a Calcab. At end phase, a bouncer, like if they set a back row. So it has really interesting implications.
Now, how do you think it's going to do with that new ban list out?
I think it's actually going to do pretty well. Like I said, Danny's Emptiness going to 1 is a good thing for Burning Abyss. One of the things that kind of held Burning Abyss back is from me going off is if somebody flips a Vanities, it's usually pretty bad. I can wall up with Burning Abyss, but it still slows my plays. But with Vanities is the 1, I feel like I can make my plays mostly uninterrupted, and I don't have to worry about destruction because Burning Abyss float, and I can get pluses either way. I just find Malakota interesting though because he's a non-extra deck, so I can play around Necro as a Unicorn, which Burning Abyss typically have problems with.
Agreed. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, that's Travis with his BA deck, ready for the new ban list.